Hi guys, and welcome to another What in the Westworld. I'm Maddie.
I'm Aiden.
And I don't know what this episode is called.
It's called
as
The
usual.
Adversary.
Thank God.
Is that
it's episode 6. 7. 6.
Oh, is it? I thought it was...
It's episode 6, I think.
Are we already to 6?
I really fucking hope so. I said it already.
God.
How many episodes does it have?
10.
What?
Yeah.
We're getting close?
Yeah.
No. I liked it way more than last episode, so I don't want it to...
This episode made up for all the bad, I don't want to say bad, but the...
I don't know why. I think I was getting sick, and hopefully I'm getting over it now, but it was very upsetting to me last week.
I just thought it wasn't as action-packed, and I don't feel like we learned as much. This week I feel like we learned tons and tons.
Shit ton. Do you want to start with this week, or...?
I'll give it a start.
Okay, go.
Okay, so my first thing is I want to know how the park works. I want to know...
They don't explain that very much.
No. This show does a really good job of being very, very, very vague.
Yeah.
So, we know that it costs $40,000 a day.
He's telling me all this, and I'm like, they never said this, but apparently they did.
I Googled it.
So, okay.
It costs $40,000 a day, which is an obscene amount of money. But then I was thinking, if it's in the future, maybe there's inflation and $40,000 is maybe
it's like
more
Disneyland
like
money.
$5,000, $10,000. We don't know. We don't know what year it is. That's my other question. I don't know when this is taking place. That's another thing I want to know.
We kind of have to bring that up later.
We'll bring that up in a little bit. Okay, next thing. There's a 28-day limit on the amount of days that you can stay.
Except if you're the Man in Black, apparently.
Because he has an all-access pass, apparently. Is
he like the head person, like, what are donators to the park? Maybe a head?
I think that he must be on the board or have some sort of affiliation
with Arnold,
with the company or Arnold or something. Like that's my personal theory. He's somehow financially involved.
There's a cat.
Hello, cat. How are you? So why would there be a 28-day limit? I guess so people don't get too involved.
That, and I think it would mess up the loops and stuff. Like if they were there for too long, nothing resets.
Okay, that's my next question. If Dolores really does wake up every single day and go down to the place every single day and find Teddy every single day and then go back and her parents die every single day, if you're staying in that town and you stay there for 3 days, isn't it possible that you're going to get caught up in that same loop twice or 3 times even?
I bet so.
And she can't be the only one that's on a day-to-day narrative.
But the problem is, I think they're on a day-to-day narrative, but when Dolores is with a actual human, she does not reset. You don't reset when you're in the company of
the middle of a narrative.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But then, if my meaning is that people, it seems like you kind of walk down that main drag in the town, and there's just multiple people walking up, like, "Hey, do you want to go do this? Hey, do you want to go do this?"
Yeah.
Is it possible that a guy will walk up to you the first day that you're there and say, "Hey, do you want to come help me find so-and-so who killed so-and-so and he's in the desert?"
Yeah, I do think
that you could replay the same thing happens.
I think you could.
Okay.
Because the guy, not the guy in black, but the asshole that walks around with whoever Dolores is banging right now.
I want to say his name's like Logan or something like that.
Or something. He's just the asshole in black. Yeah. But he knows exactly who's coming up to ask him stuff. And knows exactly. Like,
that's true.
I don't think it's like riding a ride twice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that, like, it doesn't take you out of it that much
because
they're so real, I think.
And that one lady actually said, like, which ride is your favorite or whatever?
Yeah, as if it's like you do it again and again. Yeah.
Okay, then my next question is, what happens if, let's say, you came to the park 6 years ago, and your favorite thing to do was to go help Dolores save her family, okay? Now you come back to the park and you're very excited to do that ride again, but she's not there anymore because she's off with Billy and whatever.
I don't mean this bad, but like my favorite ride in Disneyland is the fucking Hollywood Tower of Terror.
And it's closing.
All so
right.
I think,
there you go.
Or like you can never get on Magic Mountain, ever. It's it's shut down all the time because of complications.
Okay.
Like, that's just some of the cons
that's
of going
part
to
of
the
the
park.
thing?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Some rides are closed, some you have to get there, and maybe 28 days, that guy's going to run out of time, and then someone else who is waiting for Dolores is going to have a chance. Like,
that's a good point. So my next question is, how long has this Billy guy been in there? Because if he has a 28-day limit, then assumedly it feels like he's maybe been in there for a week already.
Yeah, so I mean, he's getting there, but not really.
Not really. Well, the season will be over by the time it's...
Yeah. So I don't think we have to worry about his 28-day limit.
Okay. And then there's this pool that we saw for the first time in this episode. There's this nice pool deck where the
narrative director,
and he's talking to this lady, and he's flirting with her, and she's kind of refusing his advancements over, and we find out later, of course, that she's part of the board or something.
Yeah.
But he is seeming like he's talking to her as if she's a guest. So then apparently the guests have access to the pool area?
I think the guests can come out.
Okay.
Like, remember how in the beginning... I'm sorry, I'm so bad at names. Who's Dolores with right now?
Billy.
Okay, so Billy had the opportunity to stay with a different host, not in Westworld yet. Remember, she was going to do whatever he wanted while he was getting ready. I think Westworld doesn't just consist of the park, but it also consists of the hotel and the pool. You
like
get
Disneyland.
Yes, exactly. I think there's amenities and stuff that you get.
Downtown Westworld?
Yes. So I think you can come out, like, take a break. There's probably a shopping area somewhere in Westworld that, the hosts aren't so aggressive you can't shoot it up. You can buy stuff and everything.
Yeah,
like
you can buy, like, replica dresses and
replica
guns.
I'm just assuming that you can come out whenever you want.
That makes sense. I don't know, it's very interesting to me the way that it works.
I think you have to think of it as an actual amusement park, and then it's easier.
For adults, very wealthy ones.
Yes.
Okay.
But kids go too. We've seen that. There's been kids.
There have been kids
There's
that go.
parts of the park that aren't as violent or sexual or...
Which makes me think it has to be in the future somewhat, because $40,000 a day for a kid, there's not that many people. There's not enough people with that kind of money to continue to keep that park open.
But people come back.
That makes sense.
All the time.
But if there's 1,400 guests that are each paying $40,000 a day, that's a ridiculous amount of money.
No, yeah.
But at the same time...
I'm just assuming that these are all, like... I don't know. There's wealthy people out in the world. But maybe
and all of them are Westworld.
Yeah, I think that's just what they do.
All right, that makes sense.
And they also get it with their, like, job opportunity. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think Billy's paying for it because it went with his office.
Good question. Good point, sorry.
So I think it just works like everything else.
Okay, before we move to your next thing,
okay,
I think this is an appropriate time to talk about whether or not it's on the moon. Go.
I still want it to be on the moon, but I just have no idea. It feels kind of less and less possible, but at the same time, when they're going, he goes 87 stories under the freaking ground or something, 30 something. I feel like it was in the 80s, but that's a lot of stories. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for someone to tell me where the fuck it is.
Yeah,
I'm done trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I think it has to be somewhere. I still don't feel like it's Earth, just because
it's too big.
It's too huge.
But maybe all of Earth is dead. Remember how he said, like, we've advanced ourselves where we never die? Like, maybe we went through a lot of hard times, too. Maybe. So half the world's gone anyway.
Maybe. That's a good one.
I just don't know.
Maybe it's post-apocalyptic, I suppose?
Yeah, and then everyone who survived is wealthy.
On the moon.
So they took off to the moon. All right, well, so I'm going to go with Maeve, who is the runner of the whorehouse.
She's the hooker.
But she's like the main boss. Like, she's the pimp.
Yeah, she's the pimp.
Yeah, so cool. I don't want to, like, give her that name when she's, like, way above that.
All right, good point.
She has now convinced the guy who's controlling the birdie last episode. Yes, Felix, sorry. He'll fill in the blanks, and I'll just try and explain as much as I can. Convinced him and his buddy, okay, but, that she's either going to gut them, because she's not under their control anymore, or they can change her personality and attributes. It's like skill points. It's freaking awesome.
It's like an MMO all of a sudden.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Now her intelligence is up to 20, the highest that you can put it. And I mean, there is a definite change immediately. So she feels that change immediately.
Pretty instantaneously, yeah.
And then the episode ends. But does this make her, like, a much more valuable role than Dolores? Like, Maeve seems to be able to move around the park much more freely than Dolores does.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought it was interesting, too, that Dolores, this is the first episode I think that Dolores has not been in.
Yes.
And this episode starts the same way that mini episodes do, with a close-up on an eyeball, but this time, instead of Dolores' eyeball, what it usually is, it's Maeve's eyeball. Which I thought was interesting, because it's like, this is the main character of this episode.
I know, which was cool. I think I expected her to be a pretty main character, but not this main character.
I thought she's like fifth.
Yeah.
She's going to be like the Sansa of this bitch.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, she's totally not.
She's the Jon Snow.
She's
of
the
this
Jon
bitch.
Snow, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like really excited, and she like has herself killed by being sexually assaulted, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But she's working the system way more than any of the other hosts. And
I agree.
She seems to be doing it well.
Well, yeah. You know what'd be interesting?
Huh.
If not, without giving any Game of Thrones spoilers, if Dolores was the Ned Stark of this bitch.
What?
It'd be pretty.
I don't think I could handle that.
It'd be pretty crazy.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
It better not do that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I felt like she's really cool to watch. Like whenever it's Maeve, I'm excited.
I agree. She has an interesting storyline.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to happen?
Oh my
now
god!
that she's...
Sorry, can I go back?
Yeah.
When she's walking with Felix through like the different levels,
fuck.
that was one of the most intense scenes of all cinematic history.
I agree.
I thought it was beautiful. It wasn't one shot, but it felt like one shot. It was just continuous.
Mm-hmm.
The music was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she just looks so scared and shocked, and like she's probably trying not to cannot compute and just shut off,
break down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting because what's basically happening is that she's witnessing creation, her creation.
Yeah.
It's like watching, for us,
Well,
it would be
like
watching,
going up to heaven and seeing how
exactly, we're put
it
together.
worked or something, or or watching the atoms. It just anything that you thought,
Mm-hmm.
and it not being that.
Yeah, it's breaking her whole reality.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
I think that's what's making her so much more knowledgeable, though. Like she's having to handle these glitches in her programs, and so it's making her, when you train your computers to do something.
Glitch, virus?
Yeah, it's like, or I don't know, it's like a firewall. She's breaking down her firewall
go.
slowly so that everything that goes through her, it doesn't run through decoding or something like that. I don't know, I'm trying to say computer shit. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Programming.
Programs.
10110.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, but I think it's just really cool to watch that.
I agree. That bit when she's looking at the computer and it knows exactly what she's going to say.
And then
so
she also
cool.
just glitches out.
Yeah.
That was intense. Why did Felix bring her back, though? Because he wouldn't have had to explain himself. He wouldn't have to been fired. Like he's interested in this, too.
He must be. I mean...
He brought her back.
Yeah.
He didn't have to.
Yeah. I mean, for him, he's clearly obsessed with the robots. He thinks they're very interesting. He thinks the whole thing is interesting. And he has found one all by himself that is sentient. And as far as he knows, there's only one that is completely sentient.
Yeah. I think it's cool, too, that, he's not just a sicko. Like, everyone else who works down in there
like his buddy,
seems to be, a
total
fucking sicko.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't met that many sickos in my life, but Westworld seems to be full of them.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Sickos.
It's just all of them.
Okay, so is it my turn, or you got more on Maeve?
I don't know. I just love her.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting when she saw the advertisement for Westworld and she was in it.
Oh, and she was in it? That was intense.
Yeah.
If she couldn't compute because she was, talking, I felt like that was definitely, program shut down.
Yeah. And she wasn't 20 intelligence at that point, was she? Not yet. No, not yet.
No.
Sorry, just making
I think it's also... So she's not one of the old machines, so Arnold has no sort of connection to her.
Oh, I never noticed that before.
Yeah,
You're
she's
right.
not one of the older models, so she can't be...
Oh, that's weird.
So I'm assuming that, there has to be a time where Dolores and her meet, and it's just going to be a totally different kind of conflict, because...
Yeah. I mean, they talked, I think, in the second episode, just really quickly, and Dolores said that thing to her. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, and then it was
the thing that her dad whispered to her? Yeah.
I do remember that.
But maybe that's not what did it, because she's not connected to Arnold.
Yeah, I don't think she is connected.
That's so weird. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, you're next thing.
All right, moving on. Okay, so I want to talk about Anthony Hopkins a little bit.
Yeah.
Because his having a clone... His having a clone family that Arnold built him and keeping them in the park in District 13, is that right?
17.
17? I thought it was 13.
Sector 17.
Sector 17? Are you sure it wasn't 13? Because I thought it was Sector 13, like District 13 of Hunger Games.
No.
Okay, Sector 17?
Pretty positive it was Sector 17.
Okay. Sector 17, and he has this little clone family of his own that is seems to mirror his own family when he was little. which is interesting because it looks as if the house, the outfits, I would place it right around 1930-ish? 1940?
I'm so bad at that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, it's just Westworld.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I was looking for, like, hard set clues. There was no television, black and white or otherwise. They were all reading books. The outfits looked... I'm going to go 1930, 1940.
Yeah, but so it seems really weird because if you set it in that time, then it means that it's around our time right now where Westworld is taking place.
Yeah, because...
Unless except he did say that they could live forever.
Forever. So
we
maybe...
don't know how old
Anthony
people
Hopkins
are.
like 400 years old?
How old is everyone?
I don't know. It's
That's so
very weird.
That is weird.
Because, so if it's in, like... Let's say it takes place in 1940. His fantasy clone family.
Okay.
Then... And his clone is about 10. So let's say then Robert Ford is born in 1930. That makes him 86 in the year 2016.
Okay.
Which Anthony Hopkins is not 86.
Yeah, but he could look a good 86.
I mean, that means sort of that we would have had to create everlasting life by the year 2016.
Yeah.
So my thought is that perhaps his family doesn't actually take place in 1930, 1940. It's just he has put them in that setting, maybe to make it blend in a little bit more with the surroundings, the Western surroundings,
Okay.
and maybe just because it makes a little more sense that
Like,
way. You want to build a future home.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting and it's weird, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it explains more like how humans work.
Yeah.
Because we know a lot about how the hosts work, but not very much about what's going
The
on in the
outside
human world.
Yeah, and I wonder if that will be the second season. We
Or
venture out.
there's no point in the outside world. We're not talking about humans, we're talking about the host.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Alright, that's about all I got with Anthony Hopkins. I think it's interesting as a clone family.
Alright, well then it ends with Theresa stealing a bunch of shit from the park.
Yeah, that
Apparently,
was crazy.
I was like, she seems a little bit too dim or dull of a character to be doing this.
Yeah.
But then there's like an after part where it's like, oh, Bernard has been being, so manipulated by this woman, he just couldn't even see what was in front of him. I'm like, oh, they're actually like totally...
Yeah.
She just did it. So I'm assuming she actually did steal these things.
And by the end of the episode, you're like, oh, that's a fib. She didn't actually do it.
Yeah, someone's using her card or something. She just doesn't seem all that... She seems like a powerful, outstanding woman who's getting to the top, but she doesn't seem like she's trying to... Except at the same time, she is trying to run the park to the ground. Like,
That's true.
She wants to get rid of Ford.
Particularly in that scene with Ford, when they were at that table that she'd sat at as a child or whatever. She doesn't feel like the kind of character that is trying to bring it down from the inside. Or Ford would at least know.
I think, at the same time, she seems to love this park in a really hateful way. Like, I mean, hate it so much that she has to be in control of it.
Okay.
Or something. It's really attached to her.
She doesn't want it to close.
No.
She just wants to know exactly how it works and get into
how people work, almost. Or, I don't know,
Is she scared of the robots?
I think so. I mean, if Anthony Hopkins did that to me, I'd be pretty fucking scared of the robots. But I feel like not only... So she's taking information, but where is she sending it? Like, who does she trust more than Bernard, than...
Who's her contact on the outside?
Yeah, I don't understand what is she trying to do. And then in the very first episode, she talks about a bigger picture. Like, are we talking about... war? Are we creating an army for said war?
I mean, is it a way bigger picture? Are we building a space army?
For space war.
Yeah. The coming moon wars.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like, I don't know, she's like a weird character because in the first one you're like, wow, she's like really just, I don't know.
Mean, kind of.
Or evil. And then in this one she was so torn apart and it seemed really sad and that's why I felt like she couldn't have done it. She just looked weak and
but she's with Bernard, and we're seemingly taught that Bernard is a nice guy, and he has the best interests of everyone in mind.
It kept showing her like it was really messing her up to do this to Bernard.
Yeah,
it was really messing her up that she had to see Ford, and it's really messing her up that the narrative guy is peeing on the table. It's just like weird. This whole thing is bringing her down, and so I don't know where or why sending the information is going to make her life better.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe she does want to close the park down. Maybe she wants Ford to be shut down.
Yeah, maybe. Or, sorry, not or. What's her name?
Elsie?
Something?
Ellie?
She dead?
No.
I think they would have showed her die.
I think so too.
Like,
I
no,
don't
they
think
closed
she's
her mouth.
dead.
Who is it? Who has her? Man in Black?
Ooh.
Because it was in the glove, so you couldn't tell.
So if it's the Man in Black, what does he want with her? Also,
Well, he's trying to find the maze.
But also, how did he get there? Because he's all the way down in the south, right?
Never mind, he's not there. Who the fuck is it then?
I don't know.
Is it the guy who was like, oh, that's Orion's belt, and went with her that one time?
Oh, that guy. Because
Like,
is he on
working
Theresa's
with, yeah.
payroll? Oh, and that's why he was saying, oh, that's Orion's belt, that's Orion's belt. It's
Yeah.
nothing, it's Orion's belt. That would make sense.
It would make sense.
But was he in the control room when the guy was peeing on it? I think he might have been.
He was. But
But maybe
it
that's
seems
a
like you
different
can get
time.
into the park anywhere you want, whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this was a cool episode, though, and it's making me think.
I agree. I think it's my favorite episode so far, including the pilot, which that was fabulous.
I love the pilot. I loved the episode where Maeve had the bounty guy stab her.
Oh, that was
and
really
then
cool
she's
too.
like looking at all the drawings. That was my favorite episode.
God, this show is so good.
So good.
It's awesome. Alrighty. Do you have anything else?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, please comment on it, and then please subscribe to our channel. All that wonderful, happy, fun stuff.
Jeez, it's not so happy and fun when you're so goddamn aggressive.
Punchy stuff. Peace out.
Yeah, bitches.